Hello, I'm Haven Pate, a student in the Personal Leadership class at Highlands College. My professor is Steve Blair, and the class is focused on teaching us how to lead ourselves. In each module of the class, we will learn personal management, personal vision, personal productivity, and personal calling. Today I will be going over the third module, which focused on personal productivity. In this module, we focused on topics like productivity and what exactly that means, along with boundaries and disciplines. In the first class of the module, we discussed personal productivity. Professor Ben Johnson described productivity as our efficiency to produce, and the key to productivity as not doing less, but by doing efficiently. Something that really stuck with me from this class was Professor Johnson's quote that, "If the enemy can't slow you down, he'll speed you up." I've lived a very fast-paced life, with my parents and family being involved in so many events. Sometimes I fall into the thought process that fast is normal, that I don't have to take the time to appreciate the time I do have. During this class, we talked about the importance of managing your time and not letting your time manage you. Professor Johnson challenged us with creating a time block calendar of our weeks. I time block the upcoming week so I can be prepared to manage my time well. This is my time block schedule. I have it all color coordinated. And so I have church, all in blue. That includes chapel, quiet time, one small group, and then all of my Sunday duties. And then all of my wake-up times are in red, but also I have a special event, the entrance exam, on Thursday next week in red as well. My food times, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of that is in this nice light shade of purple. And of course there will be times where I will eat outside of those times, like during the white spaces that I have. All my white spaces are in a gray color. And then all of my commute, my work, anytime like going home or prepping for something or even check-in, those are all in a light green. But then I have all my study stuff in a dark green. And of course, they're all at different times. I usually like to space them out with another white space to have a break after or before. And all my personal time where I spend it with friends or family is in this nice peachy color. So I try to hang out with my friends often, or at least make time for them. So I have family time on Friday after I go home, and then as you can see on Saturday, I have a whole day planned with my family at Comic-Con. My classes are all in their personal colors. Freshman seminar is in yellow, while personal leadership is in orange, and then we have biblical intro in a dark purple. And then you have kickball and workouts in this also kind of a light dark purple. And I think that's my schedule. After laying out my time, I was surprised by the amount of time I had free. I used this practice to add more time for my friends and family, along with designated study times. In Class 9 of Personal Leadership, we discussed boundaries and how we should approach boundaries in ministry. Boundaries aren't selfish, and they aren't a way to just say no to everything. Boundaries are what give us longevity in ministry, and it helps us pace ourselves. Jesus had boundaries in his own ministry. He'd take times to step away and pray, to get away from the crowds. In this class, we learn to pace ourselves and the importance of knowing our own limits. We can't continue to give 100% to everything all the time, or else we'll end up with nothing left and completely burn out. Boundaries also keep us from sin or from temptation. If we know something triggers us to begin to think ungodly thoughts or do something that the Lord wouldn't be proud of, we can use boundaries to keep us from those situations. As Professor Steve Blair said in class, we need boundaries set before you even get close to crossing the line. It's easy to get caught up in the motions or in the moment, so if the boundary is set on the line, the moment will push you beyond the boundary. You need boundaries set early, before you even have a chance to get stuck in the moment like that. Class 10 was extremely beneficial for myself, as it focused on disciplines and habits. During this class, we discussed both the rule of life and the habit loop. With the rule of life, we were given 4 quadrants and told to give them a topic, then focus on how we could get better within those topics. My 4 topics were my quiet time, relationships, studying, and rest. These are my 4 topics within the rule of life. I have my quiet time, my relationships, studying, and resting. With my quiet time, I want to be able to study the Bible more deeply and dive more into it. And I want to get better at practicing silence and solitude. Within my relationships, I want to be more intentional with reaching out and then prioritizing responding to text messages and invitations that I get. With my studying, the time block schedule already helped me out quite a lot because I was looking to schedule more time to study, but also schedule more time for pre-work specifically. And then I feel like sometimes resting can sound like a silly topic to want to get better at, but I feel like I need to take more time to rest and take more naps, but then also set aside time to be alone and to be just me, but then also have time set aside with my friends to just hang out and rest in that way. The time blocking schedule helped me with the studying quadrant. Oh, crap, reading the wrong thing. It's okay. I'm going to cut this out anyway. A lot like the rule of life, the habit loop diagram was very eye-opening for myself. I've always learned better with statistics and diagrams, so seeing our human behavior laid out so simplistically was very beneficial to me. The habit loop is the process of how habits work. There's a cue that starts the process. Then that cue triggers a craving. And to the craving, you respond. And then you receive a reward that reinforces the cue. To explain in an example, I'll use one of my own habits. If I'm sitting in my room doing schoolwork or drawing, I might get bored. When I get bored, instead of finding something to remove the boredom, I'll start to crave a snack. In response to my craving, I'll eat a snack or even 2, and then I'm rewarding myself with a snack. And all that does is only continue to cause the cue to become more solidified in my brain. In class 11 of personal leadership, we discussed something called the results-based thinking. This class focused on talking about a big picture mindset or top-down thinking. When you're thinking, you can view it 2 ways. Bottom up, where you're focused on your actions, or top down, where you focus on results. When discussing a bottom-up mindset, you'll find that most thoughts based on actions tend to be centered around oneself. It also tends to be a more stressful mind due to putting so much weight on every single action or detail instead of the end result. In a top-down mind, you find that the little details have much less weight and all that matters is the end result. You can still have things exactly how you planned it, but the details like how you got there, how that one plan didn't work out, don't weigh you down as much. This class was very beneficial to someone who used to be a bottom-up thinker. Details, although small, can weigh you down tremendously when they begin to pile up. In this class, we also discussed how to rationalize it and how to turn into more of a top-down thinker. We discussed how to degree and filter our thoughts. Degreeing your thoughts references what degree of difficulty the subject of stress is. Is there things more important than that? Is that really your priority at the moment? After putting a degree to the difficulty, you can filter it. This is where you take a moment to recognize the feelings around the difficulty or the stress, and then after recognizing what emotions you're feeling, give them to the Lord. Too often we put the pressure of our own emotions onto ourselves, and all that does is put more pressure on us. When we have a miraculous God who's more than willing to take it from us so we can put our focus and our emotions into Him and His kingdom. Personal leadership has been so helpful for me personally. The first module of the class had truly prepared me for the emotions I would and have already faced within my first month at Highlands College. The second module helped teach me more about my goals and where I want to go in ministry. This module has helped me in a more practical but still extremely valuable way. It's taught me the importance of filling out my time and making the most of what God has given us. Thinking about my work assignments and then looking at my time block schedule makes me realize that I didn't not have the time. I just wasn't making the most of it. Personal leadership has taught me how to face my emotions and understand them, but also how to be excellent and proficient in my time and work.